Introduction to Science. Lesson outline. What is science? Science as a body of knowledge. Science as a product and a process. Limits of science. What comes to your mind when you hear the word science? Can you guess the answers? Thick textbooks, lab coats and lab gowns, microscopes, astronomers looking in space through his telescope, bunch of equations, chemical reactions and beakers, launching rockets to space, or maybe even ETs and UFOs. This is what we imagine when we ask about what is science. All of those images reflect some aspects of science, but none of them provides a full picture because science has so many facets. What is science? Word origin Latin word. Scientia means having knowledge. Scientia is a Latin word which means having knowledge. What is science? It's a body of knowledge. Science is a systemized body of knowledge based on gathered facts, observation, and experimentation. As a product and as a process, science as a product in every changing body of knowledge. It is an ongoing process of investigating and thinking, a way of thinking that involves reasoning, and a way of investigating that involves questions, observations, experimentations, and predictions. So, we can define science in two ways: as a body of knowledge, as a product, and as a process. What is science? As a body of knowledge. Based on facts, observations, experimentations, as a product and a process. Way of thinking which is involves reasoning, way of investigating which is involves questions, observations, experiments, and predictions. Scientists are those who study science to create solutions to present problems in order to make life easier. Limits of science: ethics and morality, mathematics, reason, and why. Science doesn't make moral judgments, ethics and morality. Science doesn't make aesthetic judgments. Mathematics deals with the nature of art and battery or taste. Science can't tell us whether something is pleasing or not, or whether a performance is beautiful or dreadful. You can't measure someone's talent. Science doesn't tell you how to use scientific knowledge, reason. Science gives you facts but doesn't teach you how to use them. Only you can teach yourselves how to think. Science doesn't draw conclusions about the supernatural explanations. Why? By definition, science only studies the natural world. Therefore, any object or entity supernatural like God is not a science. Science doesn't have all the answers. Ponder upon with the superstitions. Do you think they are true, reliable, and the scientific? Prove and give examples. Now that you are equipped with the basic concepts of science, you are now ready to go through the Science 7. Welcome to the study of the natural world. So why study science? It is fun, it makes life easier because knowledge is power. What do we bring in science class? Textbook and notebook, pen and paper, most of all working brain. Logic will get you from A to B. Imagination will take you everywhere. One from Albert Einstein. Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's succumbing attractions. So with this, science we can classify into four parts. To study about the matter, externally, internally, two types. To study about the human body and plants. So totally four parts. So to start the properties, or to study about the human body and comes under zoology. To study about the plants and everything, how they are living, is botany. And to study the internal properties of the matter is chemistry. And if you study the external property of a matter, which we can see, is nothing but our physics. Therefore, physics is nothing but to study about the matter, external properties. That is what physics. Now come to our subject, physics. Physics, the basic science. A body of knowledge growing all the time. Human activity and body of knowledge. Human activity and body of knowledge. Systemized body of knowledge based on natural and facts of life about general principles of foreign to observable conventions statements. Physics, branch of science which deals with the study of matter and energy. Branches of physics we have mechanics, force and motion, kinematics, description of motion, dynamics, description of causes of changes in motion, thermodynamics, relation of heat and mechanics, and includes through a study of energy. Waves deals with how energy is transferred, that includes the concepts of light and sound. Electricity and magnetism deals with the characteristics and behavior of the matter. Relativity and modern physics deals with all the concepts not covered in the first four branches. Importance of physics. The main and important form of energy, that is electrical energy, is only due to the physics. We cannot imagine the life without electricity. When we switch on the button, the fan starts, and when we switch off, the fan stops. All are the physics, but with the help of the physics. Electricity in our house is a gift of physics. Hydroelectricity projects is a method in which water is used to generate electricity. The mechanical energy of the water is converted into electrical energy using the dynamo. Physics in daily life. When we talk, our vocal cords are vibrate producing sound. When we eat food, the chemical energy of the food is being converted into mechanical energy, which we use to different types of works. When you are reading this slide, working of eye is just like a camera, which is discovery of the physics. Speakers, vocal cords, when we speak audible sound, waves are produced that propagate to the phone microphone. The microphone will be respond to the sound waves and convert mechanical energy into electrical energy. Relativity is one reason that mass and energy can be converted into each other, which is how nuclear power plants works and why the sun shines. Conclusion. So physics is the most fundamental of the sciences. Physics is beautiful and physics teaches us to think. Physics gives us a new appreciation of the worlds around us. Coming to our topic, this is our units and dimensions. So what are the units and dimensions? Why we are using the units and dimensions? So simply we call as a measurable quantities. Okay. So the things what you are going to measure, you need something matter is there. The matter's size, shape, and color. If you take how much size is there, means we can use some length, breadth, and some how much weight is there. So the measuring things. So whatever the quantities we here using for the objects which we can measure is known as our physical quantities. Physical quantities are nothing but the quantities which we can measure on the physical quantities. Okay. So these physical quantities are most and very important in physics. If you consider the objects, the physical quantities, availability of the physical quantities, we can classify into two types: fundamental physical quantities and derived physical quantities, and we can call as a independent physical quantities or dependent quantities. So independent physical quantities are nothing but the quantities are which exist in their own by using one reference point. Derived physical quantities are nothing but the quantities which we can measure by using the physical quantities of a fundamental. So they are basic, well-known examples what we are using: length, mass, time. So length, mass, time. So these three are the basics. So by using these three basic quantities, we can derive some more extra. How it is? If you take a multiplication of the two lengths, what you will get? Area you will get. If three multiples, then what you will get? Volume you will get. Or measuring mass, the mass per unit value, density you will get. Interval, the thing what is happening from starting point to ending point. So the duration between the two intervals we are calling as a time. So like this, the fundamental quantities, whatever we have, the length, mass, time, we are considered as the fundamental quantities. Okay. So all measurements need units. If I said one object has length of 10, would this make any sense? We need unit with every number. Length is 10 inches, 10 feet or 10 meters. Writing the numbers without unit makes it meaningless. So standard units. In science we like to use standard units so that everyone around the world understands the measurements. The following are the 7 standard base units: length, mass, time, amount of substance, electric current, luminous intensity, and temperature. These are the basic units. Derived units. From there we are deriving some seven standard units, so we can derive more number of units. This is what are using in chemistry, measurements of the chemistry.